Hey everyone, it's Christian Girl Kelly, and I was sitting in my office, and I have a lot of students who come through my office, and it's a collective space, and it's pretty fun because there's always something lively going on. So we get into this conversation, a couple of people and I, about bugs. Now, I live in an apartment, and in the last 2 or so months that I've been here, there's been a cycle of little critters, little animals who want to make home in my residence. I'm not for it. And being someone who was raised in the South, in the country, at times spending, some good time around a lot of nature, it was fine when it was outside of the home. When they came inside the home, there were some mechanisms in place. There was the spray, there were, different traps that you might have to set, and then there was the shoe. Okay? Fly swatter, all these things, right, to get rid of them. And I apologize to all those who are meek and humble in spirit and very sweet and just wonderful in their ways that they deal with these creatures, because you guys are special human beings. But for us, right, we got rid of the issue. I was sitting around talking about bugs, critters in the home with my coworkers and some of my students, and they were talking about how they took a cup and trapped the little critter and walked it outside and set it free. And I thought, well, that is such a great thing. And then I remembered a couple of weeks before, one of my coworkers, the ways that she dealt with little critters was that she had something called a critter getter. A critter getter, what is that, you ask? Well, a critter getter is kind of like a little contraption that sweeps the little critters into these little broom-like hairs in the middle, it traps in the middle, and then you just release the critter into its natural habitat outside in the wild. And so that was the second conversation. Another conversation, someone was talking about how it was just very fascinating how people who are Buddhists, or at least practicing quite devoutly, kill nothing. Not even a little ant, not even a little gnat, nothing. And they were having this conversation after a panel or discussion when it would seem like Buddhist monks, and that's what I remember from the conversation. So all these things are coming at me quite quickly within a short time span, like a time span of a couple of weeks. And so back to my apartment, I've had some critters who want to come in. Spiders were first, and I'm pretty cool with handling these little critters. I'm not one who gets really like, oh my gosh, I was never the one who was screaming in the dorm room, help. No, I handle it myself. But I found myself, after being around my students and my coworker and hearing from another coworker about another way to handle these critters, there was a stink bug that just was all around, just causing havoc, if you ask me. And instead of killing them, they say don't kill stink bugs because they actually do stink, and I'm a witness to that. Instead of killing this one, I said, okay, I'm just gonna trap it in a little cup. And I'm gonna take my little plastic cup and my little top, and I'm just gonna let it free. And it was a strange thing because that wasn't me. That wasn't what I did. That's not how I handled the situation, typically. But this time I did something different. And so why am I telling this story? I say it because it's fall time, and in fall time, we don't typically think about a lot of new stuff, like renewing anything. When we get to January 1st, everyone wants to talk about resolutions or how they're doing something new or how they're taking on some new challenge. And when it's their birthday, it's a new year, new me. When it's springtime, we like shedding off our clothes. We need new wardrobes. There was some stuff called Hot Girl Summer this summer. Some of us know about it. And there's a sense of like empowerment in that way. We're doing things a little differently. And we typically don't think about fall that way. But this is the challenge. The challenge is, where did you get that from? Where did you get that new habit from? Who did it come from? When did it start? Because a lot of times we start things and we don't even know they started. We have no idea where they came from. And a lot of times we don't even realize that we're perpetuating anything that we've seen or we've heard or we've internalized until someone else points it out on us. And sometimes it's good things. I think maybe trapping the little critters is a nice heartful of joy way to extend grace to little critters. Okay, I'm trying something new, and I know where it came from, and I know when it started. But sometimes we'll catch ourselves saying, "When did I start saying that word? When did I start sending that type of emoji? When did I start that habit? When did I stop doing what I was supposed to be doing, and how did I get into this other thing?" Right? We have those moments when we start and stop things that aren't so great, that aren't so wonderful, that are either a little bit bad or they're a lot bit bad. The idea is that it is the season to check what we started and what we stopped. And I'll leave this with you, 1 Corinthians 15:33, and it says, "Do not be deceived. Bad company ruins good character," which means that sometimes we need a time to just take a break, reevaluate the things that we're doing, we're saying, we're thinking, we're watching, all of these things, and figure out whether it is coming from something bubbling up on the inside of us, and where we might have gotten some cues that it was acceptable, that it was okay. Sometimes, many times, it comes from people, other people around us. Who are those new friends, new coworkers, new hanging buddies, new people that you jog or walk with? Who are these new people, these people that you start to follow on social media and are sending these messages about what to do, what to say, what to wear, all of these things that might be influencing you in this season? Be careful. Some things you come to incorporate in your life and they're good, and other things might be time to do a little fall cleaning. It's Christian Girl Kelly. See you next time. So really, does anyone else have a critter getter? Like, is that a thing that I just missed? Tell me, and then tell me where you're from, because I also wonder if this is a regional thing and I just missed it totally. Yeah, critter getter. Who would have thought of such a thing? But a kind, gentle, loving soul.